Hi everyone! This year I have grown a large number of different tomato varieties and keep sharing with you stories about the best of them. In today's review, I have tried to include just those varieties that stand out in many ways and really catch the eye, both in appearance and in their excellent tomato flavor. And the first variety I want to tell you about is called Oaxaca Jewel, because its origin is inextricably linked to the place Oaxaca. Oaxaca is a city in Mexico and the capital of the state of the same name, a pre-Columbian Mexican heirloom tomato which undoubtedly attracts even more interest from tomato lovers. It's actually quite surprising because I used to think bicolored tomatoes were something more modern, but as it turns out, that's not always the case. The Oaxaca Jewel variety produces only large fruits of delicate yellow-pink color, and at full ripeness the pink tones become even more intense. The stems are strong and not very tall. By August, they reached a height of 1.7 meters. Honestly, I caught myself thinking that this was the first variety originally from Mexico that I had ever grown, but I liked it immediately. The weight of the fruit approached half a kilo and at times exceeded 600 grams, which puts it in league with the most large-fruited bicolored tomato varieties. Inside, the tomatoes are bright yellow-orange in color with pink lines spreading from the center to the edges. Very juicy, the taste is sweet. It is able to please even the most experienced tomato lovers, which is even somewhat surprising because we often expect some kind of rich flavor from new varieties that are the result of years of breeders' work, and this heirloom appeared long before the word breeding itself was first heard in the territory of Mexico at all. By the way, Oaxaca from Nahuatl translates as the place where guaje begins to grow, a type of plant growing in Mexico. But anyway, now I absolutely know what the most important Oaxaca Jewel looks like, and that is the tomato, with its superior taste and appearance. So it is not surprising that tomatoes are one of the most important crops in Mexico, and in agricultural exports from this country they rank fourth, behind only beer, avocados and berries. Since we are talking about berries, I should probably tell you about another great tomato variety that tastes more like a berry than a vegetable or a fruit. And this time let's travel to Canada, the land of forests, rivers and lakes, and a lot of great tomato varieties, such as the Polaris Tomato. Karen Olivier from Canada is not an ordinary breeder. She specializes specifically in varieties with a potato leaf, for which I'm eternally grateful to her. For example, she gave us the Taiga, Tundra, True Colors and many other tomato varieties. And as you have probably already guessed, the Polaris tomato is also with this type of foliage. The plant is indeterminate, reaching a height of 1.7 meters by mid-August. Fruits are beautiful, medium-sized, dark red color with greenish tint at the shoulders, something reminiscent of the Cherokee purple tomato. By the way, Polaris or Polar Star is located in the northern hemisphere and is also known as the North Star. And if you live in Australia, for example, you won't see it. During the taste test, I used far from the largest fruits, but they weighed in excess of 200 grams as well. And my goodness, how beautiful they are when cut. The flesh is a flawless purple-red color. I saw something similar in a Bear Creek tomato, and it was also stunning. The taste is complex and rich and berry-flavored, and it's just gorgeous. One of the most delicious dark-fruited tomatoes of the season. This tomato is a must plant for anyone who loves to grow tomatoes, and especially dark-fruited tomatoes. Sweet, real explosive flavor of the homegrown tomato. Dense flesh that is literally all filled with something, and it is filled with a rich tomato flavor. Polaris is the real star of the tomato world, and while the distance from Earth to Polaris is about 433 light years, now thanks to Karen, we have the opportunity to see Polaris much closer and can even touch it. I bet not many of you have heard of the following tomato called maple syrup. This amazing tomato was the result of accidental cross-pollination of the sweet horizon orange tomato with an unknown variety. The result is a beautiful and productive tomato variety that will be particularly appreciated by those who like green tomatoes or bicolor ones. The stated height of the plant is from 1.6 to 1.8 meters, but by early August it has already overcome the mark of 2 meters. The fruits are large and beautiful, mostly green with copper and pinkish tints, somewhat similar to the Copper River variety, but maple syrup is much taller and much higher yielding. There were no small fruits at all, and I harvested fruit throughout the season. Plus, these tomatoes store pretty well for this beefsteak type, even though the skin is thin. There were 3 to 4 fruits per bunch, and the average weight of tomatoes exceeded 400 grams. A distinctive feature of the color of the fruits are pink strokes coming from the center of the tomato like sunbeams. Inside, the tomatoes are mostly green in color with marmalade flesh, with pink and yellow streaks that become most noticeable when fully ripe. As for the taste, it reminded me of a real exotic fruit, sweet with a pleasant acidity, very refreshing. It's even amazing how sometimes accidents can help to create such an interesting and fruitful tomato variety. Just one plant turned out to be enough to enjoy the taste of these unusual tomatoes throughout the season. Maple syrup is a great combination of yield, disease resistance, beauty and flavor. And what delicious varieties do you grow? Be sure to write in the comments below. Do not forget to subscribe and, of course, love tomatoes, grow tomatoes. This is the Lucky Garden channel, and see you soon.